Hi, I'm Arpita Dikshit and I'm making this video for Comp281 personal project. I have made a multi-tenant UML parser SaaS application. Here I have 4 tenants. Those are 4 UML parser apps. My tenant 1 is Nupur Joshi. My tenant 2 is Forum Mehta. Tenant 3 is Ranli and tenant 4 is Suraj Khurana. This is a load balanced auto scaled app. So let's just take a look at the load balancer. Here I have designed one load balancer and you can see the description of the load balancer. You can see it is available in multiple zones. Now let's take a look at the listeners. Here I have attached the listeners. Here I am routing the listeners according to these rules. If it's tenant 1, I am routing it to the target group tenant 1. Similarly, tenant 2, tenant 3 and tenant 4. I have created the target groups here. These are my 4 target groups. And you can see the instances in those running instances in those target group. Also, it's an auto-scaled app, so I have 4 auto-scaling groups. My tenant 1 auto-scaling group. You can see the details. Here I have attached the tenant 1 auto-scaling group to the target group tenant 1. Okay, now let's take a look at the scaling policies. Here are the scaling policies. As you can see, the number of instances are between 1 and 2. So it will scale between 1 and 2 according to these policies. You can see that there are instances in service and are healthy in all the auto-scaling groups. Now let's take a look at the launch configurations. I have created launch configurations and they are attached to the AMI IDs. So these are the 4 launch configurations for all of my tenants. As you can see, tenant 1, it is attached to the AMI ID, and here we can see that here we can take a look at my AMIs. So the tenant 1 AMI ID is matching in the launch groups and the AMIs. And okay, so this is a data multi-tenant application. So let's just I have created an AWS RDS MySQL instance. We can check the details of this instance. This instance is also available in the multiple AZs. Okay, so this is basically my database structure. There is a tenant table and all of my tenants have a particular tenant ID. This is an important table, and the tenant name. Then we have tenant fields, and tenant fields are mapped to the tenant table via the tenant IDs. So we have all my 4 tenants are present in my tenant table, and the fields, the grading parameters for each of the tenants are different, and those are mentioned in my tenant fields table. So you can just take a look at the first tenant's fields. So for the first tenant we are grading, there is letter grading, and we can just set the status as complete and not complete, and we can give comments. Similarly, for the second tenant we have a 4-point scale, and so on. Okay, and I also have tenant specific tables. So whenever any data changes, the data is changed in the tenant specific table as well as the tenant data table. This is the tenant data table. where according to your tenant ID, the column, so for tenant 1, the column 1 is linked to the letter grade, but for tenant 2 it will be linked to this 4-point scale. So that is my database structure. Now we can just take a look at the app and we can check the running of the app. So you can see that the app is deployed on Heroku. Okay, now I'm just giving the username and password. The username is Paul and the password is compete202281. Okay, we have logged into the app. Now you can see we have 4 tenants. So I'm just going to show you working of each tenant. As per the requirement, we're supposed to run the test 4 for all the tenants. So you can see that the UML diagram has been generated. And now if you want to give grade, okay, so now we have submitted the comment. We can check in our data table. I don't know why it is taking so much time. So in the meanwhile, we can run the other tenants. So you can see that all the tenants, we have run the test 4 for all the tenants and all my tenants have done a good job. Their parser application is working as required. So now let's just query the database. Okay, so now that we can see that all of the entries that we have just made can be seen in my tenant data table. You can just check the comments that we had given have come up. And also I am entering the same data in the tenant specific tables as well. So you can see in the tenant specific table it has come. We can query one more tenant and just confirm. So the comment given has shown up here. So this is basically my UML parser multi-tenant application. Let's take a look at the code. So all the tenant backends have been done in Python. So this is the app.py file. And this is the grader.js. Here I have written all the insert statements in the tenant table and also the tenant specific tables. And here you can see this is the tenant.js. Here you can see I have given we are routing on the basis of the load balancer. This is my load balancer. Sorry, the network is a little slow. So this is my load balancers DNS, and we are routing each tenant uh, via the load balancers DNS name and forwarding it according to which tenant it is. This has been done in the tenant.js file. So that this is it. Thank you so much.